so far, Google published them as fact. This was not an accident, but once we pulled the first thread, everything unraveled. We discovered who was behind the attacks. We uncovered how they profit from lies, and we exposed why Black public figures are being targeted by fake news gossip channels online. Some of these people were in the US, some of them weren't even in the country, and every single one of them thought they would never be found. Today, we name them. This is the truth about the people who harassed and defamed my husband and I online, and why. So we launched an investigation. We got tremendous results, meaning we know every name, every person behind the anonymous accounts, and we're going to reveal who they are and talk about the justice we're seeking in this podcast today. You can hide only for so long, and in the end, truth and justice will prevail. A lot of people think that because of the anonymity that YouTube allows, they can just say and do whatever they want, and that's simply not true. People are entitled to their own opinions, but they are not entitled to their own facts. So we were able to get tremendous results in our investigation. That's why I asked Kenny to join me. Before I dive in, I want to say this. If anything we've been through can help someone else, and that's why we're being so public about our results, if our experience can serve as a blueprint for how to fight back against online defamation and harassment, then that's exactly why we're telling this story.
Let's go back to the beginning. How did all this start?
In April or May of this year, if you typed in our names in the largest search engine in the world, Google, it said that you and I were divorcing, that we were divorced already. It displayed headlines claiming that our marriage was over, citing these videos from anonymous YouTube creators as its source. Those same videos were being shared and amplified across multiple social media platforms.
Okay.
They were so specific with the allegations that they were making about us, and so specific about the divorce filings that they had access to, exclusive papers and judicial rulings, that a lot of people stopped and started paying attention. According to what they wrote, I'd filed papers, I've spoken publicly about moving on, navigating a blended family, starting a new chapter, and you and I, according to them, had said all of these really negative things about each other.
There's a whole mention that a judge had ruled from court documents, and it was all dressed up to look as official as possible.
And the real truth of the matter was, at that time, we were actually celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary.
Absolutely.
The problem with what Google was displaying was simple, Kenny. None of it was true.
Yeah. And the bigger problem was that it wasn't just like blogger gossip. Wasn't that anymore. It felt institutionalized. I mean, people weren't scrolling random comments. They were seeing it in black and white on Google. And most folks use Google as their quick source of truth. Absolutely. Google it, right? If Google says it, people believe it. I mean, being in the public eye comes with scrutiny. We understand that. And people are going to always have their opinions, and that's fine. But to have somebody lie on you, it's a whole different thing. You can't chase every rumor, though. But this time was different.
Because, you know, we've had people even lie on us before.
Oh, absolutely.
And we don't sue people every time somebody lies on us, right? In the past, before this kind of blew up, nothing that anyone has ever said has impacted our work, our happiness, our life, our marriage.
Right.
And I truly believe what you put out comes back to you. This time with Google getting involved and basically putting a stamp on those lies as the truth, we decided, okay, we got to go to Google. So what I did was I had my legal assistant look into it, because we don't Google ourselves. We're not online researching all of this stuff. And what we found, it really looked like a campaign. It was actually kind of shocking. It looked like a coordinated effort to make this lie as believable as possible. So we went to Google, who, of course, owns YouTube. I probably should have said that earlier. You're going to hear me refer to Google a lot. They own YouTube. We went to them and said, hey, you need to correct their record because we're happily married. We're not divorced. There have been no papers. And also, why are you letting this defamatory content about us being spread online unchecked? Yeah. It was about 35 videos dropped about this subject about us over the course of 30 days. Some videos, as many as 8 in one day, would be dropped about this, all repeating the same false story. So Google's initial response was hands off on whether the content was defamatory. They said, we don't decide that. But if you send us a legal document, a subpoena, because I said, what do we do? These people are anonymous, so we have to come to you. But they said, send us a subpoena, send us a legal document. We will comply. We will provide you with all of these uploaders identifying information, and then you can contact them directly, have a resolution with them directly. They were hands off about the truth, but displaying the lie as if it were a fact. So make that make sense.
Yeah, and that's a lot to put on someone who is really a victim of the circumstance.
So if a legal document is what we needed, then that's what we were going to do. And that's when I knew we couldn't stay silent. We couldn't let the world's largest search engine stamp a lie on our marriage and put its logo on it.
Right.
And I was also just tired of watching all of this false content about people go unchecked online.
Yeah. So suing isn't easy. It's not quick. It costs money. But for us, this was about principle, protecting our family, our marriage, and the truth.
So the lawsuit started with one big problem.
Yeah.
Anonymity. These YouTubers hid behind fake usernames and emails and locations. Legally, you can't sue a ghost. You need a name, an address, a person. So we had no choice but to go through Google. Legislatively, Google is actually protected from lawsuits like this where they can't be held responsible for creators' content on the site. And I'll also say this, the day that YouTube decided anyone could monetize views was the day the race to the bottom began.
Well, but why is that? I mean,
because I want you to think about this. Gossip is more entertaining than the truth. Scandal sells. Being happily married doesn't get views. Creating controversy does. So anonymity plus money is the perfect storm for people who, with no character or integrity, who are willing to say anything. Here's the good news. Google did not fight us on the subpoena. We sent in the request, and in about 45 days, they produced everything we requested and notified the uploaders their identifying information would be turned over to us unless they objected in court. And so when that production arrived, for those who did not object, we received names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, and everything came into focus. These were not faceless nobodies. They were real individuals with families and careers who, from behind a screen, decided to try to tear ours apart. So let us walk you through how it all unfolded in this process. The first videos dropped April 5th and April 8th. They were from an account called Black Celeb News. That account published 2 videos about us, unbeknownst to us, narrated by a woman's voice. They racked up over 100,000 views and started being shared and spread across social media before we even knew about them. I'll now read to you from the complaint our attorney drafted about that account now that this person's identity has been revealed and they are now named as a defendant in our lawsuit. Since we're in litigation, I'll stick to what our attorney put in the complaint about this individual. Defendant Willie L. Laney Jr. is an individual residing in Gaithersburg, Maryland. On information and belief, Mr. Laney is a married business entrepreneur who markets himself as helping coaches, speakers, and authors obtain clients and build their online marketing brands. He's a former lead coach at an affiliate at Learn Incorporated and a self-proclaimed digital creator. He operates the YouTube channel Black Celeb News, where he publishes content designed to attract viewers and generate advertising revenue. On or about April 5th and April 8th, 2025, he anonymously published 2 false and defamatory videos concerning plaintiffs, which on information and belief were narrated using an AI-generated female voice. In one, Mr. Laney used the video thumbnails to falsely quote Ms. Jenkins Lattimore, saying the fabricated statement about her husband, Kenny, he is on the DL. This is a phrase widely understood to mean that a man secretly engages in same-sex relationships while publicly presenting himself as heterosexual. This intentional fabrication portrayed Mr. Lattimore as dishonest and unfaithful and portrayed Ms. Jenkins Lattimore as disparaging her husband with a denigrating falsehood. In the same video, Mr. Laney further fabricated and falsely claimed that Mr. Lattimore stated about his wife, "I don't love her," and asserted that Ms. Jenkins Lattimore was losing it as red flags surfaced in their marriage. Mr. Laney's first video was nearly 20 minutes long and was devoted almost entirely to making disparaging comments about virtually every aspect of Miss Jenkins Lattimore's personal and professional life. He criticized her career, her marriage, her decision to have a child with her husband, her net worth, which he inaccurately stated, and her character in a manner that was not only false but obsessive and calculated. This extended targeted attack went far beyond casual commentary or fair criticism and demonstrated a fixation on Miss Jenkins Lattimore that was unusual, malicious, and designed to damage her reputation while profiting from sensationalism. 3 days later, in a second video, Mr. Laney falsely presented his content as Mr. Lattimore's response to Miss Jenkins Lattimore. He fabricated additional claims that Kenny's secret could destroy their marriage, that Mr. Lattimore was issuing cryptic marital warnings about life with faith, and that Mr. Lattimore was speaking about a divorce. As a self-proclaimed business strategist and digital creator, Mr. Laney understood how to exploit YouTube's algorithm by publishing sensational, scandal-based content and monetizing viewer engagement.
Once those videos dropped, the others just kind of came like dominoes. I mean, day after day, channel after channel, they recycled each other's lies, added details to sound as convincing as possible. And then suddenly there were dozens of videos. There was so much of it that people believed it. People reached out, fans sending DMs, some supportive, some angry, some were just curious. Even people who knew us started to check in on us. And that's how powerful a coordinated lie can be.
So after we found the source of how it all started, Black Celeb News, Willie L. Laney Jr., we looked into the other accounts that basically took this salacious commentary and ran with it.
Yeah. What shocked me the most was that it wasn't just who they were, it was who they pretended to be, hiding behind names like Black Tea or Urban Gossip, posing as insiders from our community. But, when we looked a lot closer, they really were nowhere near the culture that they were profiting off of.
These next attackers were different. They weren't just copying lies, they were running an operation. YouTube is being used to generate profit from lies and attacks on Black public figures, and it doesn't even start in the US. NBC News reported on this problem in 2024. They found YouTube channels pumping out fake stories about Black celebrities, fabricating scandals, using fake thumbnails, distorting their images, and those videos racked up millions of views. But what NBC didn't uncover was who was behind these channels. Now, we know. In our case, not all of the attackers were in the U.S. Some of the channels that spread lies about Kenny and I were run by people outside this country. People who pretended to be based in America so they could blend into conversations in our culture and avoid accountability. They didn't want you to know that because a so-called Black celebrity news channel hits different when you think it's coming from a member of the community. The goal is to gain your trust. You let your guard down. But these were not US-based creators. They were anonymous operators using fake identities and fake locations, people who build entire YouTube channels on lies, not journalism, not commentary, lies scripted for profit. And here's what shocked us. This has been allowed to go on for years. Somewhere along the way, these uploaders decided that Black people were easy targets, that you could lie about us, profit from us, and nobody in power would care to stop it. That ends today. And I will show you exactly who they are and where they operated from in this video. Why are they so brazen, you might ask? There's a reason. They know they're operating outside of the U.S. They know YouTube and Google are protected under U.S. Law Section 230, which means the platform can't be held liable for what creators post. They know that makes them hard to reach legally because they're out of the country. They think that means they can't be touched. So they feel untouchable. They feel protected. They feel free to try to destroy lives from behind a screen. But exposure changes everything. Look at how this group of channels, owned and operated by the same person, amplified Willie Laney's lies. These videos didn't appear randomly. They were released in sequence. Look at the pattern and malicious intent by which they operated. This is coordinated amplification, and their goal is always one thing: make the lie go viral. Get people to start writing the celebrity, get their attention, get them to respond and feed the algorithm. Once they pull you into it, they profit from the chaos. And here's what exposes their operation for what it truly is, not commentary, but coordination. When we filed suit, the owner of this group of channels, who publicly claimed to be US based, was not in the United States at all. Yet instead of revealing who they really were, they quietly hired a California-based attorney to defend them in this lawsuit. Think about that. Someone posing as an American celebrity news gossip channel overseas suddenly retained U.S. legal counsel. That doesn't happen unless there's a real business behind the lies, one worth protecting. We reached a legal settlement with this operator, but as of this recording, they have not completed all of their settlement obligations. So let me be clear. They are still under legal scrutiny. Their compliance is being enforced, and their final outcome is still to be determined. They built their platform on deception, fake identity, fake location, fake stories to manipulate audiences and profit from chaos. And now accountability has reached their door. Then there are the accounts that we are not in settlement talks with, and they are named in our lawsuit. Here they are. Nazir Rao claims to be based in the U.S., runs the channel Star News, targets Black U.S. celebs and public figures with misinformation. He's actually based in Pakistan. Dinar Minglalamov runs the channel Black Tea, claims to be based in the United States, targets Black celebs and public figures with denigrating content. He's based in Russia. Kunjamal Jayan, official Vault Videos, claims to be based in the United States, targets Black public figures and celebs with defamatory content. He's based in India. Imran Igra runs the channel Celeb News, claims to be based in the United States, targets Black celebrities with misinformation and also Black public figures. He is actually based in Pakistan. Mohammed Shabazz Haider runs the channel Celebrity Star Talks, claims to be based in the United States, a gossip channel with negative content about U.S. Black celebrities. Mohammed is based in Pakistan. Sunny Duvall claims to be based in the United States, runs the channel Mukon Music, targets Black celebrities with negative commentary, actually based in Pakistan. Muhammad Islam runs the channel We Got Celeb, claims to be based in the United States, targets Black public figures and celebs with negative and denigrating content. Muhammad is actually based in Pakistan. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens because YouTube allows it to happen. This entire abuse pipeline only works because YouTube gives anonymous and foreign operated channels the ability to lie about where they are and who they are and still get paid for it. And that has to change. YouTube doesn't need a task force. It doesn't need a 5-year study. It doesn't need another statement. It needs to implement policy, and it needs to do it now. So here are simple, immediate solutions YouTube could implement today to protect people from exactly what happened to us. 1. Require regional disclosure. If a creator is not located in the country they claim, they must disclose their region. No more fake Atlanta-based gossip channels operating from Russia. If a channel wants to speak on U.S. public figures while pretending to be U.S.-based, the audience deserves to know the truth. 2. Verified identity for monetization. If a channel wants to make money on YouTube, verify who owns it. Not a screen name, not a VPN location, a real verified human or business entity on file. Next, label synthetic and manipulated content. If a video uses AI voices, fake or manipulated photos and thumbnails, or synthetic visuals, label it up front. Viewers deserve to know when the voice they're hearing isn't real. Stop ranking anonymous defamation in Google's search engine. No unverified channel should outrank the truth in Google search. If a channel is not verified, meaning there's no real person, no real identity on file, it should not dominate search results about real people. That is basic safety and basic integrity. And tracking and penalties for repeat defamation. Channels that repeatedly publish provenly false claims should receive defamation strikes and lose monetization privileges. Folks, these are not radical demands. These are common sense protections that YouTube could deploy right now if they wanted to. The question is no longer, can they do something? They can. The question is, will they? And if they won't, it's time for the public, the press, Congress, and the courts. We must start asking why. Now that we know the truth, we are not backing down. We are pushing for real accountability for every channel involved in this case. Stay tuned.